complete and the preparation for the track done.
Well, the track won't be finished because
The
asphalt
fact
has to sit for
The track will
30
not
days
be
anyway.
finished.
The track won't be
So,
finished
I mean, I'm just saying, you're asking to move something that you're talking 2 weeks from now. I mean, you're going, really?
The hurdles that would have to be.
I mean, this is May the 17th. You're saying that all of this is going to be done, and you're putting out these kids.
The hurdles that would have to be covered before we get to that point. You make a good point. March 31 date. That's when Huckabee is held accountable for having those documents 100% signed and sealed, ready to go. Ryan and Don look at them and say, no, they're not any good. We don't move forward. We don't move forward.
But you put your kids out because you already told them. You've already started the drama. It's in the paper today. You've already started the drama that we are going to move graduation. All of that chaos has already started.
Yeah, but we haven't changed anything.
It's growing pains.
Yeah.
I have a kid.
What if it rains 3 inches tonight at graduation?
You don't have a kid graduating out.
Both
You
spectrum.
do
I have
not.
an 8th
You
grade.
moved your kid to San Antonio.
I have an 8th grader and that, so I've got both spectrums covered here. So I mean, you know.
I'm against it.
How do you figure you have two different ways of looking at it?
No, I just said I have an 8th grader graduating and I have a senior graduating. So I mean, a senior is going to be a different
The
school.
8th grade, it's an honor for them to graduate, but it's nothing like what Mindy said, a senior graduating after going through 13 years at this campus.
We all graduated from here except for Marlon. And they could have mailed me my damn diploma. I could care less.
Yeah.
That's just
Well, let me ask you, why do we have to make the decision today?
But
To go forward, not only
question-
graduation, but to go forward if we want to get the price of the
And
bid.
so
Well, no,
if you
no,
tell
no.
these
We
kids,
don't have
they
to
don't
make a
mail,
decision
they don't
either way.
keep
Hold
on
on,
with their...
let's back up a little bit. Has there been any discussion with the kids, how they feel?
Again, and I'm going to take Mindy's words on this. Why start the fire if it's not a possibility?
Right.
So you need to start with a discussion with you guys that we're having to see if it's even a possibility to you guys. If it's not, why start the fire with the parents if we're not going to do it anyway? If it is something we're into, I need to have a discussion with the kids first and then call their parents and tell them. And I have no issue doing that. But you guys got to tell me, yes, let's do it, or no, let's not do it. We can hold till the 31st to see if Huckabee has the documents done. If they do, let's have that. But the longer we wait, the more unfair it is to those kids and the parents.
What's the fire code for the gym right now getting kids?
I don't have any idea.
I don't remember
What if it's raining cats and dogs that day?
Yeah.
Where are you going to put them anyway? You're going to
Yeah.
stick them in the gym, fire code or no fire code. So,
And you ain't starting either, construction either if it's, well,
maybe
thank
not
you.
that date, but you're not having. The point is,
We're
there's a lot of
talking
things to
3
change
weeks.
graduation. But
Well, what I would hate to see is what Wendy said, if they come in at the beginning of May, they fence it all, and they do nothing for 3 weeks, then graduation, we're having it in the gym, and nothing's being done on it. That would be the
That would
most
be
terrible thing
I agree with that.
that would be ugly. And that's my concern. And Don, do you think they're gonna fence that up and do something within 3 weeks?
The current schedule would be that we would put in front of the board a proposal to move forward at the end of April, and the work would, assuming y'all approved moving forward, the work would immediately start. So if the current plan would have them started construction 2, 3, 4 weeks in front of graduation.
2 to 3 weeks, and y'all think that's going to make that big a difference?
On such a short time frame, yeah. On that project.
You're going to have 3
Which
weeks
is
to
2 years.
months.
That represents, what, 6
18-month
weeks?
project
That
in a minute.
represents a 30% increase in
Yeah.
the schedule, 30, 40, 35%.
Either way, you're displacing
I say
somebody.
you find
You're
out a
just-
fire code because the 8th graders might be graduating in their classroom because if you don't have enough people for the 26 kids to be there, 8th grade graduation, you got to cut them before you cut the seniors invites.
There's no doubt there's hurdles we need to overcome. But again, do I need to pursue the hurdles or do I not need to pursue
I'm
the
just
hurdles?
saying.
I'm with you, Monroe. I'm with you. I'm just saying. I'm looking at it 2 ways here. Okay, number one, that's it. It's your issues. I'm with you. Now you start looking. Okay, we decided the other way. Then you start looking at next year. These kids are gonna be bussed for weeks and weeks and weeks. How many
Alfie,
parents?
we bus kids, we flew kids to Lubbock to basketball games, okay? Yeah, we have flown, we paid for it, it came out of here.
I'm talking about
It was
every
collected.
day.
We do, we bus kids all the time, okay? You're talking about busing kids, Really? You're busing right now your whole relay team as it is, because they do not do handoff years. You're busing those kids right now. Okay? How many extra kids are you talking about busing?
Well, junior high, 2 bus loads.
And their
to come see
handoff
track
kids?
meet the other day.
Well-
We don't do handoffs in school.
Field events, everybody. Junior high doesn't do anything outside of here.
I'm sorry, I'm against it.
So we're having this
In the
conversation.
past also, we have had rain out, and it wasn't held in the gym, it was held in the halls.
But you got the party.
In the hall is possible.
It
We're
has,
just not saying it's not.
it hasn't been in the hall in
Twice that I can remember.
not a very, very, very long time.
Well,
And that can
And that
happen,
was
but like
before the
I
party,
said,
too,
if
before
it's
the party.
raining, the construction project is pretty slow too. The sump pumps are running, if they're starting. So,
Ms. Blocker, I don't want to put you on the spot. How you feel? How would your daughter feel?
She's not going to be happy about it. I mean, to be honest, our kids are not going to be happy about it at all. You know, as a parent, I don't like it. I don't like it at all. But as a business person, principal, I mean, I understand. You know, we want to get this completed, we've got to get it done. But, you know, Mindy brought up a good point tonight is, what is 3 weeks? Can we not move football games to out of town? If we're going to go 3 weeks into football season, can we not just delay construction into football season if we're going to take that? I mean, 3 weeks?
Just back ended. Our first game here would be our second game, which is Pope. And then after that, we're out of town, and then I think we hit 2 in a row at home. So the
Can we
back
switch
end
them to
could buy us possibly another 2 weeks at least, and then figure out who that other one is. I don't know of very many schools that would say, no, we don't want to play at our house, we'd rather play at your house.
Well,
So
yeah, you're not
that's
gonna
a
get anybody
possibility
that's
also.
gonna be against.
Yeah, they would be against going on the road, so
You know,
that's
and
an option also.
we're not having to have bus kids. I mean,
That gives
have to
lead
have
time a little
out-of-town
bit.
games in the beginning, but we
The
still have graduation.
the 2 scrimmages are out of town, right?
Yeah, the first thing we have here scheduled is 20th, and that's September 5th.
If you move that, that's a home game anyway, it's right down the road.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah. So that's a good option right there. It's a good
Excellent
option.
option.
I like that option. I think better.
I think there are options.
I would
You
rather.
play your whole preseason.
I think I would rather tackle the complaints about moving the football field. About moving a football
You
game.
could
than
play your entire
the graduating
pre-district
kids.
out of town for, those games mean nothing.
Yeah.
Play every.
And in reality, that gives more lead time for the construction people to get ready. That may be a better option.
You're in a better time of the year too, weather-wise, I think.
Yeah.
And not risk having graduation in gym and nothing's been done.
Right.
That would be bad.
Yeah.
I mean, it wouldn't make us look good at all.
I'm open for whatever you guys would just give me direction, that's the direction I'll run.
The later something would be a good plan.
Wherever we can give them that 3 weeks, if it's on the back end, that's fine, but they're gonna need that extra month. That's one way or the other. If it's on the back end, that's fine.
I'd
Or
rather
that
do it on
way
the
it's
football end.
Premium summer, no rain, no delays on that side.
You're not gonna have, it's gonna be better weather conditions.
Don, that would be a better scenario anyway. Lead time.
Gotta give you 3 more weeks lead time.
Don's gonna be
No,
politically correct. You're thinking?
I'm crunching here. I mean, yeah, the lead time, yes, obviously. Rain patterns have been really weird in the last decade. It used to be the fall, you used to get rain, but I don't know what it's not that way anymore, so.
Rain could be an option anytime.
And you're getting actually a 4-week game is what we were looking at. If you get it on the tail end, the only thing is we'll have to sit down and decide what we want to tell them that we want up front. Meaning, if we want to theoretically purchase a beginning of September schedule, that has a price. We've got to decide if we want to try to purchase that premium then, or go ahead and give them the 4 extra weeks and pay whatever it costs to have football games somewhere else. We'll have to sit down and decide that, because that's a premium on the other end as well. We'll have to decide which one we want to pursue.
For us. Think about the only thing. And that's
What have you, that would be,
Very minimal.
would
That's
be near as
minimal.
much as,
Who's opposed to them, who?
and they could if we decide to go with this, they could actually put their temporary fences up with some gates. They could have just about everything ready to go with equipment sitting there in the background somewhere the day after graduation, so just like they did Cotton Field Store.
Be Stockdale, so that's
They
not
could have
too
it
far,
prepped and ready to
7
go,
hours.
just don't.
We'd be home at 7, that's we drop
Straight
at 7
there
out
until
in
they're
Bolt, and you get
doors
all
up.
the way to October, which is out of town.
If somebody would brought this up months ago, but to bring it up in this
Oh, yeah,
form,
you're already.
this is pretty, they've all ordered
7
invitations,
out.
they're all
7 out
gung-ho
Ben
and
Bolt,
ready to
drop it
go.
at 7 out Ben
And you're,
Bolt,
you know, it's the timing. If you'd have told them at the beginning of the year, you would have told them in
I like
December.
that.
But right now, it's like, really? I mean, that's the issue.
Yeah, we've got Holt at home on September 5th, then we go to Stockdale, and then we're, have Sabinal and Ben Bolt here back to back. So those would be the two, I mean, they're pretty far, but those would be the two that we would say we're coming to you instead, but that could get us all the way to, and then we go to George West on October 3rd, because that could open up all the way to October 10th against Runge here. No, let me back up, that's October 10th at Runge. Luis here on October 17th.
It's a district game.
Yep.
So we'll have a brand new stadium, hopefully.
2
with
home games, they give us 2
district
home
games.
games. And we're driving out of town for every JV and junior high game up to that point. But, I mean, it's an option. And let me say this too, and I'm arguing with Mindy's side here. It sends a better message that we're delaying athletic stuff than delaying something that's tied to academics.
Well, you're delaying athletics for an athletic purpose.
Right.
I mean,
Exactly.
you're delaying football for a football field.
And it's not to say that it would take that much time.
Very good
Like
point.
Don said, we could put in a deal that, you know, it's a fair price, you can have it done here, or whatever we can work out, we can negotiate some stuff. But I think it would put us all the way at least to the middle end of September.
Fall City likes road trips. It's no problem.
They're still gonna go.
They're still gonna go. That's probably the best scenario.
Don.
Just to clarify, ideally, you go out with the date that you want in a scenario like this, because time's really precious. And you get the most cost-effective, you capture that time most cost-efficiently when you say, look, I want it on this date. And so we just need to decide whether we want to go for the early part, or just say, okay, we're going to be 4 weeks into it, or start for the district game, or whatever. Pick a date and go for that, and try to capture that from a cost efficiency standpoint.
Yeah, I think if we move forward with that in mind, and already make the assumption that we go to Saginaw and Ben Bolt again, I mean, that opens up for us anyway. Not necessarily it's their date, but at least for us, that opens up all the way to October 17th. You know, which gives them, we can put a date in place for them that's a lot much prior to that, and allows for some revenue.
And then we would start when, in May, or is it?
May 22nd,
May
23rd, graduation 22nd, so they can have it the 23rd, which is a Saturday.
Right. And we'd go all the way out to October what?
Our next game there, assuming we did that, would be October 17th.
That's about the same, within a few days, it's the same schedule.
There you go. What do you think?
Boats, no football field to practice on at all, won't hurt anything.
Well, you could use the backside of the playground. I mean, that's a big field.
But in the practice field, where the Little League practices will be there.
Right, yeah, that's still gonna be there.
Yeah, that doesn't. As long as we get our buses through that route that I was talking about, then we're okay. We won't touch that practice field.
So when would you have to rearrange the schedule? Hopefully you wouldn't have to do it too soon, just in case things
With
didn't
those
work
other
out.
teams?
Yeah.
Well, again, we don't have to make any decisions until the first hurdle needs to be accomplished is Huckabee has to have those documents signed, sealed to
Right.
Ryan and Don's specs. Then they go to Barleycock, or if we put them out, then we come back with a price, a GMP or a price on the CSP. And if that price is acceptable to us, that's the next hurdle that's covered. Then we give them a notice to proceed. So there's still some big hurdles that need to take place
Right.
before we get to this point.
Okay.
So I guess to answer your question, we wouldn't have to negotiate that till June.
Yeah.
you know,
Well,
July.
we, as early as the end of April. We're not saying that that's it, depending on how we crunch the schedule.
He was asking when would we talk to those other teams about.
Oh,
moving.
excuse me,
Yeah,
my mistake.
They're gonna
Excuse
jump
me.
all over that. I can't imagine. And
Yeah, they're
seven
not
all
gonna say
them both
no.
saying,
Yeah.
no, we don't wanna
Oh,
drive.
no, they'll be
We don't
like-
wanna stay home, we wanna drive all the way to your place. I can't imagine them saying that, so.
You might even get free autos.
Yeah.
For them not to have to drive here.
All right, anything else? Ideas?
Yeah, which one is it, 7 on Dehanus that they don't play on the same night because?
The heinous doesn't play on.
Heinous and Hondo.
Oh, you're gonna joke at that, I said one of those, okay, that's the issue then.
And I guess, I'm thinking way ahead, but we can negotiate that we use somebody else's field as a home field. We don't have to go all the way to Savin.
Oh, that's true.
Bam.
We can meet them somewhere, so they
Yeah.
have to still have to drive.
Yes.
And they may, or, I mean, they could always say, no, we're not doing that, and then we're stuck, but,
Yeah.
come on, so, that's always a possibility. All right, anything else? All right, that's all I need on that.
We don't need to promote it.
Do we?
I don't think we need to make a motion today because we haven't overcome those hurdles that set this in motion yet. I mean, you guys, if you disagree, let me know, but I think we have those hurdles to come over before we have to say, yes, we're gonna move those games, and honestly, it doesn't necessarily have to be a board decision to move those football games. That can be done in house, so we don't need a motion. Before we do that, anybody have any questions on anything else related to the athletic or the academic construction side?